people that are into this art form are very bookish types. You know, they like literature and that kind of thing, obviously, and they're very different to me in many ways of, you know, how they are as people. And I always find it really, really, really funny that it's kind of like a drug to them. You know, I can understand how musicians feel when they're on stage and they see the crowd kind of moving with their music. For poetry, it's kind of like comedians like want the audience to laugh. Musicians want the audience to sing or dance. But with poetry, you want the audience to be quiet because that means they're actually listening to what you're saying. And sometimes women have this really weird, you know, not that I'm kind of some sex symbol, but they have a weird reaction to when someone is standing on on the stage in front of them, giving them their kind of fix. I remember when I first started doing shows, when they first started getting popular, this woman would come to the shows, and every single show, the first show, she came up to me after I came off stage, and she just started screaming at me. You know, you can't say that. How can you get away with stuff like that? And what are you doing? And I said, look, I'm sorry if I offended you. If you don't like, you know, my content, then please, you know, don't come back next month. And I'm sorry that I offended you. So the next show comes around and she does the same thing. She comes up to me after the show, screaming in my face. And I said the same thing again. I was like, listen, if I'm offending you, don't come along. And this happened another 2 or 3 times. And after a couple of months, I came off stage and I knew I just see her coming towards me, and I knew what she was going to do. And it was the first time I kind of stepped back from what she was actually saying, didn't really listen to her, and I looked straight into her eyes, and I could see that she was actually getting off on screaming at me. She was getting some kind of weird satisfaction from screaming at me. And for me, it was kind of like, it was a lovely thing to see in her eyes, because I was getting her off